Before we get too far into this, I'm going to be mentioning some minor spoilers from all parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so feel free to quit this video now if you haven't read all of it. With Steel Ball Run coming out soon, I don't want to spoil anything big for you anime onlys. It's already been almost 3 years since JoJo Land started publication, and things are well on their way to much more JoJo shenanigans. One thing I'm quite interested to see developed is the idea of mechanisms, and how they might be related to fate. The concept of fate has always been a part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure since the original feud between Dio and the Joestars began, but its most prominent example is probably the concept of gravity. Gravity brings prominent people together, and it is the mechanism by which stand users are drawn to one another. However, in the new universe, the idea of fate seems to be much more overt. The villain of Steel Ball Run attains a final form capable of redirecting misfortune, and intends to use that power to change the fated trajectory of an entire country. In JoJolion, the main villain has a stand ability that passively targets his enemies with incredibly bad luck, and is often able to kill his opponents without ever lifting a finger. The only way our titular protagonists are able to beat them is by using the power of spin, which is able to transcend the normal logic of reality. Honestly, it feels very similar to the spiral power of Gurren Lagann. Now in JoJo Lands, a similar concept of fate is being expressed through so-called mechanisms. From what we know now, mechanisms are simply systems of cause and effect. Jojo mentions some mechanisms above the law that operate based on trust, like how the trust he gains from doing favors for people makes those same people treat his family better. We know that Jojo aims to become filthy rich while trying to reach the, quote, pinnacle of mechanisms, so I'm sure that mechanisms are going to show up frequently as the story continues to develop. The lava rocks seem to operate through some kind of mechanism to draw wealth to the person who possesses one, but how that relates to trust or the overall concept of mechanisms is unclear for now. Honestly, the whole mechanism thing is a bit confusing, and if you have any insight about how they work or what exactly they are overall, I would really appreciate hearing about it in the comments. I'm sure they'll be more fleshed out as the series continues, but for now the concept is a bit unclear. Either way, I expect that Spin is somehow going to play into the story at some point. It was a big surprise when Spin showed up in JoJolion at all, and with its ability to surpass logic in its entirety, I think there's a lot of potential for it to interact with mechanisms somehow. He'll probably need to use something other than his stand though. I don't know how he could possibly spin raindrops effectively. Anyways, thanks for joining me again for another ramble about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you have any thoughts about mechanisms or what you think is going to happen in JoJo Lands, please let me know in the comments. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks with my next video. Subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified when it comes out. Bye!